Now we will be learning the concept of rotational motion. The first half of the chapter deals with circular motion, in which we had learned uniform circular motion and its application, vertical circular motion, the concept of conical pendulum. Now we will be learning rotational motion. When we learn rotational motion, the most important thing that strikes the mind is whether the inertia plays a role or not. Yes, the inertia do play a role. But the role that is played by inertia in rotational motion is not only mass dependent, but it also depends upon the distribution of mass about the axis of rotation. Now we'll define moment of inertia scientifically. When we want to define moment of inertia scientifically, we will take into consideration a body of any arbitrary shape and we'll divide that body into discrete mass distribution about the axis of rotation. So M1, M2, M3, M4, M5 up to Mn, the figure shows the mass distribution which is located at different radial distances R1, R2, R3, R4 from the axis of rotation. So the moment of inertia is defined as the sum of the product of the masses and the square of their distances from the axis of rotation. Mathematically, I can write down for each mass moment of inertia as for mass m1 as moment of inertia will be m1 r1 square. For mass m2 it will be m2 r2 square. For mass m3 it will be m3 r3 square up to mn rn square. Now these are the discrete mass distributions. To get the moment of inertia of the entire system, I have to sum up this moment of inertias. So I can write down the moment of inertia I equals summation mi ri square, where I is running from 1 to n. The SI unit of moment of inertia is kilogram meter square. It is not necessary that every time the discrete mass distribution has to be taken into account. Physically, when we take into consideration the moment of inertia of any body, we go for the continuous mass distribution. So for continuous mass distribution, we'll divide that body into infinitesimal small mass elements, each of mass dm, and we'll consider one such mass element at a radial distance r from the axis of rotation. Therefore, the moment of inertia for continuous mass distribution is written as r equals integral r square dm. So let's learn the physical significance of moment of inertia. The moment of inertia is the name that is given to the rotational inertia, that is, it is a rotational analogous of mass in linear motion. For a point mass, that is, the size of the mass is extremely small in comparison with the radial distance from the axis of rotation. Moment of inertia is just mass times the square of the perpendicular distance to the axis of rotation. Moment of inertia not only depends on mass, but it also depends on the distribution of mass about the axis of rotation. And as we have discussed, if you change the position, the moment of inertia also changes. So let us learn the analogy between translation and rotational motion. The simple way of understanding is you have to replace the translational quantities by rotational quantities. Position, that is, you can say displacement denoted by x in translational motion, can be replaced by theta, that is by angular displacement. Velocity is replaced by angular velocity, which is defined as the rate of change of angular displacement. Acceleration is defined as angular acceleration in rotational motion. Mass, a very important thing in linear motion, shows the analogy of as moment of inertia I in rotational motion. Force is equal to mass into acceleration in linear motion. Force analogy is torque in rotational motion. So tau will be equal to I alpha. I'm just replacing force by torque, mass by moment of inertia, and linear acceleration by angular acceleration. Momentum, mass into velocity, has to be replaced by angular momentum, moment of inertia times the angular velocity. Work done defined as force into displacement. Here the work will be torque times angular displacement. Kinetic energy is half mv square. Here the kinetic energy will be half I omega square in case of rotational motion. Power is equal to force into velocity. Power is a scalar product actually of force and velocity. Here we can define power as a scalar product of torque and angular velocity. We know that the moment of inertia not only depends on mass, but it also depends on how the masses are distributed about the axis of rotation. In order to study the distribution of mass about the axis of rotation, we take into consideration one more physical parameter, and that is known as the radius of gyration. To understand radius of gyration, observe the figure carefully. You can see here a disk is rotating about an axis passing through its center and perpendicular to its plane. So the moment of inertia of the disk will have some value, and we know that the moment of inertia of a disk is equal to mr square by 2. Now if I replace this disk by a single particle whose mass is equal to the mass of the disk and keep it at some radial distance k from the axis of rotation, and if that single point particle, if it produces the same moment of inertia as that of the disk, then we can say the mass of the disk is concentrated at a distance k from the axis of rotation. So the value of k, the radius of gyration, gives you the average distance about which the mass of a body is supposed to be concentrated when the body is rotating about its axis. So in a nutshell, we can define radius of gyration as a distance from the axis of rotation to the point where the total mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated so that the moment of inertia about the axis may remain the same. It gives the average distance at which the mass m concentrated about the axis of rotation. Smaller the value of k indicates that the masses are very much closely distributed about the axis of rotation. The SI unit of radius of gyration is meter. Mathematically, it is defined as k equals under root of I by m. Now we will set up the formula for the kinetic energy of rotating body. Consider a body of any arbitrary shape rotating about an axis with a constant angular velocity omega. We will take into consideration the discrete mass distribution. So let us divide the body into number of masses, say m1, m2, m3 up to mn, situated at different radial distances r1, r2 up to rn from the axis of rotation. Each mass, when the body rotates, performs a circular motion. So the linear velocity for each mass can be written in terms of v equal to r omega. So let us consider mass m1, which is situated at a distance r1. So we can write the linear velocity v1 for mass m1 equal to r1 omega. Similarly, mass m2, which is situated at a distance r2 from the axis of rotation, the linear velocity v2 will be r2 omega, and so on. We know that the kinetic energy of the particles is written as half mv square. So the kinetic energy of particle of mass m1 is half m1 v1 square. Substituting the value of v1 equal to r1 omega, we get kinetic energy is equal to half m1 r1 square omega square. Similarly, the kinetic energy of the other particles of the body can be written as half m2 r2 square omega square, and so on. Therefore, the kinetic energy of the rotation of the body is given by half m1 r1 square omega square plus half m2 r2 square omega square, and so on up to the nth particle. Therefore, kinetic energy can be written as half inside the bracket summation mi ri square, where I will be run from 1 to n, times omega square. We know that summation mi ri square by definition gives the moment of inertia of the body. Therefore, kinetic energy is equal to half I omega square. Now we will derive the formula for the moment of inertia of a disk about an axis passing through its center of mass and perpendicular to its plane. Consider a disk of mass capital M and radius capital R rotating about an axis passing through its center of mass and perpendicular to its plane. The surface density of the disk sigma is equal to m upon pi r square. Now we will divide the disk into small circular concentric rings of width dr and mass dm. Consider one such ring at an average distance r from the axis of rotation. The area of the ring, capital A, is equal to circumference of the ring multiplied by thickness. The circumference of the ring is 2 pi r and the thickness of the ring is dr. Therefore, the area of a ring A is equal to 2 pi r dr. Therefore, sigma is equal to dm upon 2 pi r times dr. Therefore, dm is equal to 2 pi r times sigma multiplied by dr. Moment of inertia of a ring IR is equal to dm times r square. Substituting the value of dm, we get moment of inertia of a ring is equal to 2 pi r cube dr times sigma. Therefore, moment of inertia of a disk I is equal to the integration of moment of inertia of the rings. Therefore, moment of inertia of a disk I is equal to 2 pi sigma integral running from 0 to r cube dr. Therefore, solving the integration, we get moment of inertia of a disk I is equal to 2 pi sigma r raised to power 4 by 4. Substituting the value of sigma in the above equation, we get moment of inertia of a disk I is equal to 2 pi, sigma was m upon pi r square multiplied by r raised to 4 by 4. So r raised to 4 gets cancelled with r square and we get the moment of inertia of a disk I is equal to mr square by 2. Therefore, the radius of gyration k, which is equal to under root of I by m, substituting the value of I equal to mr square by 2 divided by m, the radius of gyration of a disk about an axis passing through its center of mass and perpendicular to its plane is equal to r divided by under root of 2.